Yes, hello tradies. Welcome to Mitch's segment where your voice gets to make it onto the pod. We have 4 today. In fact, we have 5 today.
I'm feeling good about these.
That's good. Sean, kick us off.
G'day, boys. First time, long time. Just quickly, Sammy, how's that humble pie tasting, mate?
Oh.
I think you owe the North Melbourne community an apology for a club with a premiership list paying out on their TPP and can't get a win against the club that has been battling for years that you have absolutely barreled. Cop that.
Hi, Sean. Haven't had any of the humble pie. When North Melbourne start doing it regularly, I'm happy for you to deliver some of that pie and I'll eat it. But you've had 2 decent wins this year, one against Melbourne, who are ratchet, and one against Carlton, who are worse. So when you guys start beating good teams, I'll start eating it.
Are you worried about your future in journalism? Because you did put on the record last year that you would quit if North won the 2026 flag.
What year are we in?
25.
Yeah. Happy to double down. It's more chance of me being drafted than North winning the flag next year. Thanks, Sean. Harry.
Tradies, first time, long time. Just quickly, did you have the bye this weekend? I'm just curious regarding Lika Lear's free agency status now that he's playing regular ones at the Giants. Are the Saints still in pole position with that massive offer? And if they are, do GWS get any compensation? I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just would like some confirmation on that. Or is another club besides the Saints going to swoop in and try and convince Leak? Cheers.
I'm not aware of any other clubs being linked heavily to Lecalier.
Yeah, so Harry, I think it's Lek.
Yeah, Lek.
Yeah, I understand it's spelt Lek.
Yeah,
it's Lecalier.
He's not a free agent, so you'll need a trade for him to bring him in. And that's where I think is a real interesting line, because if the Saints were to offer him a 5-year deal at 800, let's say,
oh boy,
that would usually command, and I can understand the Giants would be asking for a first round pick for that. But for a player who's not always best 22, it's going to be a real interesting line as to where exactly this falls and his value. So right now, what would you think he's worth for a player who started the year outside the side? They've found a role for him by
700
by moving Himmelberg up. Taylor's injured at the moment. 700 grand. Oh yeah, but what in terms of trade pick?
Oh, it just depends on needs, doesn't it? Like for a team that needs a back like him,
I'd say pick 25.
Pick 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd end it first.
Yep.
I think paying a bit on potential there.
Yep.
I like what I see though.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah,
he's got lots of
upside.
upside.
He'd be playing at most sides.
Riley, welcome.
The biggest trade news of all is Sam McClure in and Tony Jones out for the Channel 9 Wimbledon coverage.
Oh, no.
Now, Sam, does that mean you'll be pumping Novak Djokovic's tyres at every chance you get to ensure the job security for years to come?
We talked about this in the main body bit, Riley. I will simply be there just being a guiding light for Jelena Dokic. She's the star. The less you hear from me, the better.
Have you had a little pre-Wimbledon coffee with Jelena just to get to know each other a bit?
We had a chat in the makeup room a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
That was it?
That's it.
Yep.
I'm sure our chemistry will build naturally on air.
Yep.
Again, I'm just there, as the humble servant for Channel 9, just being the blue-collar operator of putting in the yards and
what your hours going to be?
Late.
Like midnight till 6 a.m?
Yeah, so that sort of feel. No, I think we go on air about 8.
Okay.
Yep. On the main channel.
Yep.
I know that's hard for you to understand.
So where's the other stuff going that's always on the main channel that you claim?
What do you mean?
Well, Footy Classified.
We'll be on the main channel on Mondays, and the other days, tennis will be on the main channel.
Right.
Yep. We put the big things on the main channel. But when you have so many things on, sometimes
so Tuesday's not big?
You have to move stuff around.
Tuesday's not big?
Oh, yeah, there's classified on Tuesdays as well. I don't know. I actually don't know. Oh, God. Ben, welcome.
Gentlemen, just quickly, wondering why, if the league is interested in saving time, and we all hate the reviews thing, and this is not trade related, but it does frustrate the hell out of me. But why don't we change the rules so that it's no longer just automatically a point if it hits the post? Like, let's go to soccer.
No.
And if it hits the post and goes through the goals, it's a goal.
No, Ben.
Or if it goes for behind, then it's behind. Or if it comes back into general play, it comes back into general play. Or you can make that a point if it's a like safety thing that they're worried about.
I just thank you, Ben, for your minute, and thank you for listening. We're not soccer.
Keep it the way it is.
If it hits a post, it's a point. That's what the rules of the game are. And don't make it last touch out of bounds. Don't. It's not. We're not playing soccer.
We are getting there, though.
But it's not soccer. I hate the deliberate rule. I hate it.
The thing with last touch out of bounds is going to bring its own nuances and concerns anyway. Because, like, was it a handball or was it just touched? Like,
yeah, or is someone trying to hit it back onto another player to make it go out?
It'll, don't try and you'll create another problem by trying to solve one.
So boundary throw-ins aren't like they are actually part of the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We don't want to completely get rid of ruckman, by the way. I just think we need to be a little bit careful with how we operate with this stuff. I understand it's been a success in the SANFL. I get it. And they've gone from the lowest scoring league to the high scoring league. It's not all about scoring. That's all I'd say.
I was thinking last night, talking about Darcy and Jackson on agenda setters, with if they go to five on the bench, whether you could actually get away with I think that'll be an interesting one to watch if they do bring in the fifth on the bench. Could you get away with a second ruckman?
Well, more so.
A second genuine ruckman.
More so. But I think teams have moved past playing two genuine ones.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. And last but not least, Tim.
Yes. Batman Cleary, Chili's, Scram, McClure. Just quickly, bit of a micro Mitch one here. Are we in need for the NGA and AFL to tweak their rules when it comes to father-sons and academies and everything? A couple of case points here. David Roden's son, father-son, 111 games, should be kind of going through to Port Adelaide, but is also part of Essendon's NGA Academy. I know Dave Roden's, I think, from Fijian descent, potentially, but I thought the NGA was almost reserved for players that were coming from, I guess, not the traditional routes into the AFL system. Same goes with Kalani White. Father-son coming for the Ds, just played in Casey a couple of weeks ago, did pretty well, but also part of Gold Coast Academy. My understanding is the decision lands with the players and then they go from there. But do you think there should be a bit of a rule tweak protecting father-sons, not being eligible for both academies or NGA? Anyway, appreciate getting your opinion on this one. Keep up the good work, boys.
Great work, Tim.
It's a good question. So it is always with the player, just to clarify. The player has the decision there. It's no...
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
The other one is Nick Blakey. Could have gone to North. Family living in Sydney, goes to the Swans.
Chose Sydney.
All Australian at the Swans.
Yep. But sometimes it works the other way as well. Like, so Dunkley wasn't picked by Sydney.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that the family was pretty upset that he wasn't taken by the Swans. But he went to Bulldogs and won a flag and had a great career since at Brisbane.
2-time premiership player.
Yep. At two different clubs.
Yeah. I can understand it because...
They'll tweak the NGAs. Ultimately, they'll eradicate situations like this.
Yeah.
You'd think.
NGAs should be for players that weren't going to be on a traditional pathway to the footy. Whereas if you're talking about David Roden's son, he was always going to find his way to footy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, so, but then there's ones that are complicated, right? So, for instance, take CJ at Hawthorn. So, CJ was born in an Ethiopian refugee camp.
Yeah.
But then ended up boarding at Xavier. So once he went on that path, he was probably always going to play footy.
Yeah.
But was it right that he was, because of his background, was put into the NGA Academy system that allowed Hawthorn first access to him? Like, that's a complicated one. Mac Andrew has been on the record several times saying, well, I was always going to play footy.
Yeah.
Right. So, with Gold Coast,
so that was the time when you couldn't match bids in the top 20.
Yeah, so he was going to go to Melbourne.
Melbourne had, and don't get Melbourne fans started on this because that was the 2 or 3 year window where Jamara went to the Dogs at pick 1.
Yep.
They matched the bid for the Crows.
Yep.
Jamara went to the Dogs. And then off the back of that, the rules were changed. So Mac Andrew was in the next draft for a year after, where the Ds would have previously had the rights to match. Suns came along, took him, and the Ds couldn't do anything about it. Now it's back to what it was under the old Jamara rules.
Good afternoon to Tim Lamb.
Yes. Don't get people at Melbourne started on that.
I'd like to get them started. I like a bit of passion from Melbourne fans.
on things other than the crowds.
I didn't see. See, I'm not taking responsibility for that. I didn't bring that up. That's on you. That's on you. It's on you and Scotty. I think that does us.
Yep.
For Just Quickly. Great questions. Love the trades community. Keep them coming in. We'll see you next week.